Director of Homeland Security and Mar-a-Lago face spokeswoman Kristi Noem is asking Santa for a new job this Christmas, which is ironic. He's not an American citizen, and here's a woman who has made a career out of deportations asking a foreigner for a job. Think of the elves. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish, and if you want to hear more stories about Trump cabinet members on the chopping block, or how Kristi Noem inspired the film The Substance, subscribe to our channel right now. We've got you and all breaking news covered. Okay, with that out of the way, on to our story. Kristi Noem is having a rough week. Apart from being one of the most mocked and despised members of the Trump cabinet, which, let's face it, says something in this day and age, apart from being wildly unpopular, earlier this week we reported that Donald Trump is considering firing Noem from her current job at Homeland Security. And believe it or not, it's not because of her ridiculous cosplaying. No, Kristi Noem has run afoul with Spectrum Nazi Stephen Miller and bribe-loving border czar Tom Homan. Both take issue with Noem's use of government funds, and Miller, in particular, doesn't think she's deporting immigrants fast enough. Think about that one for a second. Couple that with a potential conflict of interest as Noem has allegedly carried on a years-long affair with Trump advisor Corey Lewandowski, who was pivotal in getting Noem her job. MS Now has a recap.
We are back with new MS Now reporting that DHS Secretary Kristi Noem might soon be out of a job. 4 sources familiar with the situation told MS Now President Trump is considering removing Noem from her post as early as January. A White House official and a federal official said concerns over her management include the pace at which new immigration detention centers are being built. MS Now White House reporter Laura Barron-Lopez is following this closely. It could be quite a shakeup. Laura, what else are you learning?
So, Ariel, a White House official as well as a current federal official told us that this has to do with the fact that Kristi Noem has not been spending money that was allocated in that big spending bill that was passed over the summer that included billions for immigration enforcement. Specifically, they feel as though she has not, the White House aides as well as Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, feel as though Kristi Noem has not been expanding detention capacity fast enough to support that deportation agenda. And multiple sources told us that this could happen as early as January. Two of those sources also told me and our colleagues Jacqueline Alamany as well as Ali Vitale that Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia, he's the outgoing governor, is a top contender here, and that he recently met with Border Patrol officials and officials from the Department of Homeland Security.
So the point to emphasize here is that while the White House denies it has any intention of replacing Noem, a wide range of sources report that their search for her replacement is already heating up, with outgoing Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin as the frontrunner for the job. More on that in a moment, so stay tuned. First, though, it's important to emphasize at this point that Noem is widely unpopular with the public, including Republicans. It's also interesting that Stephen Miller seems to be the one making decisions about who keeps their cabinet jobs, as opposed to, the president. On the other hand, that does allow Trump more nap time. Again, see our other videos for more on that. And now we've learned that despite the White House denials, Noem herself seems to have gotten the memo. This morning, we've learned that Noem is already looking for a new job, fearing how a firing by the White House could hurt her career prospects. Politico now reports that Noem has already begun looking for a new job, and get this, she's eyeing a potential 2028 presidential run as a possible exit strategy. In this case, it seems like Noem understands that she wouldn't have a chance in hell of actually winning. Her run would be a way of her actually trying to reset her public profile and build alliances with other 2028 candidates in hopes of scoring a new job in the new administration. Good luck with that, sis. The same article goes on to reveal more details on the tensions between Miller, Homan, and Noem, and how Noem's relationship with Corey Lewandowski has only fueled that resentment. Noem also keeps awarding contracts to friends, which also ruffles feathers in the cabinet. Politico also revealed that while Glenn Youngkin remains a frontrunner for Noem's replacement, Utah Representative Jason Chaffetz has also emerged as a major contender. The same article goes on to predict that Trump would not likely fire Noem before the end of January, which is part of why Noem is plotting her own exit strategy at the moment. There's an old saying that if an angry mob tries to run you out of town, get out in front and make it into a parade. It seems like Noem is taking that advice, which could be the smartest thing she's done in years. But in a larger sense, This story only underlines the growing fractures and tensions within the Trump cabinet. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is currently facing a similar crisis. See our other videos for more on that. Thus, Trump's political abilities continue to decay as fast as his body and mind, and Noem may be the first casualty of that collapse. On the other hand, maybe Noem will try to inject herself with that weird green fluid that makes her grow a new body again. I could see a blob with her face on it slowly crawling up Pennsylvania Avenue, couldn't you? This is Occupy Democrats.